You're listening to the BigIron Buzz.
Welcome to our latest episode of the BigIron Buzz, where each week we'll bring to you the latest news and trends in the ag real estate and used equipment markets. This podcast is brought to you by BigIron Auctions and BigIron Realty, rural America's premier online unreserved auction site, bringing you rural connections, respected values, and real deals. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Smith, and I'm the host of the BigIron Buzz. We took a few weeks off for the holidays, but we are now back in the recording studio. My guests today are Mark Stock and Pat Kroese from BigIron Auctions. Pat, you're new to the show. Why don't we start off with you telling us a little about yourself?
You bet, Ryan. I'd love to. I've spent really my entire career in the ag industry, and the first 15 years in corporate America, working for some large ag operations. Then I ventured off and started an ag software company. Did that for about 13 years and sold it to a large grain business, and recently ran into Mark and Ron and had a good visit about how things were developing with BigIron Auctions, and we got to talking about livestock, and I've got a real passion for the livestock industry with our family and the cattle business, and shortly after that, a couple weeks later, we came to an agreement, and here I am. I'm working for BigIron Auctions and starting a new adventure with marketing cattle online. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mark, BigIron has recently started selling livestock on their weekly unreserved auctions. This was always part of your overall vision. Tell us why.
Well, you know, we do so much business for farmers and ranchers, and farmers will have a small herd of cattle, ranchers will have big herds of cattle, and it just kind of blends so well together because we sell ranch land, we sell farmland, we sell the cattle pots, we sell the semi trucks, we sell the feed wagons, we sell the chutes, the loading chutes, and the stock trailers. So it all just kind of blends together, and it always made sense to Ron and I, if we could find that right individual that would take the lead. And they got the passion about cattle, and we were so fortunate to find Pat Kroese to take that lead. We had a pretty strong suspicion that it was going to work really, really well, primarily because, cattle producers are proud people, and they should be. They work hard on their genetics. They work hard on being fair and honest to the people that buy their animals, and they don't have to have all that unnecessary freight. Moving their animals to a barn somewhere and picking up potential diseases or getting their animals damaged or injured by doing that. So it's no different than the farmers that have 5 or 6 or 10 items that they no longer use in their operation. When they sell machinery, they don't have to take it to a consignment yard or wait for that consignment yard to happen. We do our auctions every week. You can sell livestock every week. You just got to time it all out and get together with Pat to schedule a good time to sell your animals, whether it's one trailer load or if it's pot loads. So we're excited to be in that livestock venture.
Now, Pat, we hosted our first 2 cattle auctions in December to test the concept. Can you share with us at a high level the results here?
Sure, yeah. The December sales were our first initial sales, and they went really well. We had a group of really fancy bred heifers out of O'Neill, Nebraska, that averaged $19.90, which was a great price in that trade area. Probably $100 over local market to $125. We had a really nice set of Reputation second calf Red Angus heifers, and they brought $21.20. And the guy was so pleased that he's listing another set right now, actually put a pot load in. So those sales went really well. We just finished up this week in January a dispersion for a family in southeast Wyoming. And just real quickly, the second and thirds brought $18.60 for an average, and that was a pot load. We had a pot load of 4th and 5th calving cows, averaged right at $1,700, and then they're running an older age 6th through 8th calving cows brought $13.90. So overall, that average is around 1660, and those customers were plumb happy. We were a good 170 to $180 over the local market there in eastern Wyoming.
Always great to hear when the sellers are happy, that's for sure. And can you tell us about some of the sellers and cattle up for bid on BigIron.com in January?
You bet. Yes, we've got sales going on right now that'll be closing out next week. We've got a really nice set first calf heifers coming out of the Mills Ranch in Arnold, Nebraska. 11 red first calf heifers. Then they've got a nice package of black and red baldies first calf heifers. Those are online right now. The Stutzman family here locally in southeast Nebraska also has a nice package of 44 head of these red Angus second calf heifers that we've broken down into either trailer loads up to a full pot load. So a really nice set of package of heifers here for January.
And then I know there's a sizable livestock sale coming up on February 10th. Can you give our listeners a sneak peek here?
Yeah, you bet. We're excited. We're going to have really two of our first major production sales in February with Sutphen Cattle out of Lamar, Colorado, one of the largest seed stock producers in the nation. He's going to be bringing us 4 groups of 10 registered red Angus first calf heifers, 3 groups of black Angus heifers, 1 group of limb flex heifers, and then 3 groups of fall bred heifers. So a really nice package of registered bred females that you can buy in trailer loads up to pot loads. And then he's going to be offering just about 20 bulls from red Angus, black Angus, limb flex, Charolais, and Sim Angus. So a really nice offering from Sutphen Cattle. And then we've got one other family, Hoffer Red Angus out of Laramie, Wyoming. They're actually going to be doing their first live online auction with BigIron this year. And they're going to be offering 14 registered yearling red Angus bulls, some age advantage bulls, as well as some bred heifers, and a really nice package of open replacement heifers. So 2 great families with great reputation cattle that we look forward to seeing here in February.
Now, before we switch gears, can you tell listeners who might be interested in selling cattle via our online auction and who to contact to start the process, Pat?
Yeah, you bet. Pretty simple right now. Just have them contact me. My local number and direct number is 402-741-2452. If they run into a local BigIron rep out in the country and they're interested, they can sure just ask them to have them connect them with me, and I'll take care of them.
Okay. Mark, market conditions are ripe for buying and selling land. Tell us what factors are playing into this.
Well, right now, the best reason to be selling land is there isn't a lot of land being sold, and we've got low interest rates. We've got, $4.50 corn, $5 corn in certain areas. We've got $14 beans on the board. So we've got folks that do have some of that extra crop remaining when they sell them. They've got a little jingle in their pocket, and a lot of them invest in machinery and they invest in land. But one of the big drivers is the historically low interest rates. You can lock in long-term, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year rates for prices that I haven't seen since I've been in this business. So if anybody's looking to expand, now is a great time because of those low interest rates. And through BigIron.com, too, when you want to sell land, it exposes that ground just like the livestock does. I know a lot of the people that are bidding on some of the livestock, the reason why they like the BigIron side of things, that they're in a different state and they want to put another bloodline into their stock, and they purchase some of these animals, and just like they like to buy land from other parts of the country too, because they might have family that's located in the area where the land is sold. So the vast footprint that BigIron brings to the table is one of the good reasons why people sell land. They can expose it to a lot of different folks.
And there are several great land auctions coming up in January and early February on BigIron.com. Can you tell us a little about each of the properties here?
Oh, absolutely. We just had a big sale this past week. Some tracts of land in Clay County, Nebraska. It was 313 acres that were sold, basically in 4 80-acre parcels, and they sold for way above expectations. I'm sure that has a lot to do with commodity prices and low interest rates, like I just said. But and they were smaller parcels too. So we still have some folks that are doing some 1031 exchanging right now, and they want to ramp that up. There's some rumor mill that some of those 1031 exchange programs might be coming to an end. We'll have to wait to see. But anybody with 1031 money, they're trying to get that money spent right away and get their properties identified. We do have 914 acres selling on January 19th. 3 different tracts, land in Holt County and Knox County, Nebraska. We'll be selling for John and Julie Kruger. Tom Wingert is the BigIron Realty real estate agent working alongside Ron Stock. But the one tract on this property is 318 acres with 2 electric Ranke pivots and a couple 50,000 bushel grain bins. This property is located about 16 miles east of O'Neill, Nebraska. And then there's another tract that's located just a couple miles from the first tract. It's a pivot irrigated quarter. And then in Knox County, over by the Orchard area, there's 440 acres that will sell. That's got 4 Ranke pivots on it as well. They all got these fancy field-wise pivot control boxes. And tract number 3's also got 50,000 bushel grain bins that will be selling. We've got some land selling near Battle Creek in Madison County, Nebraska on January the 26th. That's 112 acres. We've got 159 acres of dry crop land that's selling north of Lindsay, Nebraska in Madison County on that same day. And we've also got 160 acres of dry crop land that will sell in Polk County, the land located near Osceola, Nebraska. That sale's coming up here on February the 9th.
And as always, there's great equipment for sale on BigIron.com each week. What catches your eye on next week's sale?
Yes, the January 20th sale, folks, we got some great equipment. The Kenneth Olson retirement sale is in Kennard, Nebraska. He's got a John Deere 9670 side hill combine that will sell. This machine's a 2008 model. It's got about 1,145 hours on the separator. Check that machine out. They've also got a Challenger MT 655D mechanical front tractor. This thing's set up with auto steer. It's got about 1,900 hours. They got a really nice Brent 780 grain cart with scales. They got a John Deere 630F Hydroflex header that will be selling. They've got, fancy equipment, folks, well cared for. Check out the Kenneth Olson retirement sale. Clint Warner is the BigIron rep, and Clint does an outstanding job of answering questions and providing you photos and details. So please get a hold of Clint or get a hold of Kenneth Olson for questions and answers on their equipment. Now, Roger Balfour is from New Hawka, Nebraska. Brad Hollowell is the BigIron rep, and there you're going to find a pair of John Deere S660 combines selling. They're going to have about 1,260 and 1,300 hours on the separator. They're 2012 and 2013 models. They've also got a John Deere 8220 mechanical front tractor, but also check out the John Deere 4455. It's got 8,400 hours. It's a 1989 model. Those are those tractors, folks, that a lot of people can fix themselves. They're sought after all over the country. They do not seem to lose any value. You can buy that 4455 today and have it 5 years from now, and I'm going to gamble that unless you beat it to death, it's still going to be worth pretty close to what you paid for it, if not probably appreciate even after you put more hours on it. Now, Danielski Harvesting and Farming, they're from Valentine, Nebraska, folks, and they're having their online auction on BigIron.com that features a John Deere 6400 series mechanical front tractor. They've got a John Deere 6210 mechanical front tractor with a loader. Check out that machine. They have also got a John Deere 4455 that will sell. And they've got a John Deere 4630 that's selling on the sale. They got some other equipment also selling on BigIron.com. That would be for Danielski Harvesting. Austin Swedender is the BigIron rep. We've got Fordyce Farms. They're a non-stock co-op in Fordyce, Nebraska. Darren Pick is representing some fertilizing equipment. They've got a 2012 Case IH Titan 4030 sprayer. It's got 3,500 hours on it. I talked to the owner who said they bought that machine brand new, and it was pretty much a one-operator machine, so check that out. It's a high-flow machine. They also have a Bobcat S205 skid steer. They got the Honda Rancher. They've also got a Ford F-250 pickup that's selling here on the BigIron.com website. Darren Pick is the rep that works in that area, and Darren consistently is a great performer here for Big Iron, so hats off to Darren. He does a fantastic job. Judge Jessup is helping Corey Halverson sell some equipment out of Kennebec, South Dakota. Now, Judge is the Big Iron rep, and he's helping represent a John Deere 1770 narrow transport planter. It's a 1630. It's got about 8,000 acres on that machine, so check it out. They also have a John Deere 1890 series air seeder with a 1910 cart, and that machine's got about 11,000 acres on the meter. Those items selling in Kennebec, South Dakota. In Lismore, Minnesota, Joel Deutz, who's been with Big Iron here for about 9 or 10 years. He's working for Chieftain LSG Co., and they've got some construction equipment, including a Case 650K LT Series 3 crawler dozer. It's a 2008 model. They also have a 2007 Ditch Witch HT115 tracked vibratory cable plow. It's got about 1,030 hours showing on that machine. Austin Mules helping Corey Van Stelton in Egerton, Minnesota, sell a John Deere 8400 mechanical front tractor. They've also got a John Deere 1780 series planter. It's a 16-row 30. So those items will sell here on January the 20th. Bob Eichenberger is helping Miller Farms out of Topeka, Kansas, represent their Challenger 670 four-wheel drive combine. They've also got a Cat Challenger CH35 track tractor that will be selling. The Pecan Corner in Jonesboro, Arkansas, has got a John Deere 9650 straw walker combine. You just don't see these every day. Keith Dooley, who does an outstanding job through his territory there in Arkansas, is representing this equipment with the owner. They've also got a Brandt GCX 850 grain cart. That's an 850 bushel grain cart, folks, that's selling. Larry Middleton is working with Pillow Farms out of Yazoo City, Mississippi. We sold some of their equipment here at the end of 2020, and now they've got a couple extra pieces, including a 2016 John Deere S680 combine. This is a four-wheel drive machine, folks. It's got 891 hours on the separator. They've also got a 2018 model John Deere 8320R mechanical front tractor showing just a little over 2,400 hours. Good quality, well cared for equipment. Those items all selling here once again on our upcoming January the 20th auction on the BigIron.com website.
Now, are there any other exciting sales you'd like to announce that are coming up on BigIron.com, Mark?
You know, our phone's been ringing off the wall. A lot of folks who are wanting to retire are calling and trying to get some dates saved because they're seeing commodity prices up, and they know that's going to help their sale out, because when farmers make a little bit more money, they upgrade their machinery line. So it's real important for all these retirement folks to get their dates scheduled here in February and March and into April. We've even got folks who are scheduling their retirement sales now for November and December of next year. We've even got some folks here. One gentleman here called and wants to get a good date saved in August, just pre-fall harvest, because he's got some really nice harvesting equipment. But on the books right now, Hatcher Farms out of Liberal, Kansas, they are having their big retirement sale on February the 17th. And boy, do they have some nice equipment, folks. If you are looking for quality tractors, they've got a John Deere 9510 RT. They've got a John Deere 9460 RT. These are track tractors, folks. They've got a John Deere 9410R four-wheel drive tractor and a John Deere 9360R tractor that will be selling. They got two John Deere 8130s. They have got a couple Brent grain carts. They've got 20-plus irrigation wells, and the majority of these have been overhauled. So they are ready to be used. They got some Cat wheel loaders. There's a Cat 924H, and there's a Cat 924G wheel loader that will be selling. In addition to that, folks, I think they have 8 Peterbilt 379 semi-truck tractors. They've got 7 of these really nice Wilson spread axle grain trailers that will be selling. They've got all kinds of chemical inductor equipment. They've got odds and ends from their shop that's being sold. It's a real big sale, and Kurt Campbell and crew, they've been down there for a long time getting ready for this particular sale. The public inspection is going to be February 9th and 10th. Their equipment is all stored inside, folks. It is something to see. They've got a lot of late model hay equipment as well. They've got little mini excavators. It's just a tremendous lineup. They've got some really nice straight trucks. These are fancy straight trucks, folks, with boxes and hoists on them. So check all that equipment out. They got a big John Deere 90. It's a DB90 planter. It's a 54-row, 20-inch planter. And the list goes on and on. They've got some 18-row, 20-inch corn heads. They got the late model flex drapers. They got a super fancy late model drill. It's a big drill. They got a fancy 2510 anhydrous applicator machine that is just super. Well, it's a dry fertilizer machine, but it's super sharp. That is also going to be selling. And if you talk to Mr. Hatcher and his lovely wife, they are just fantastic people. You won't find it any nicer. You won't find it taken care of any better than the equipment that's going to sell on their retirement sale coming up here February the 17th in Liberal, Kansas. And then, folks, hold on to your hats for one of the fanciest things we're going to do this year, and that's conduct the BigIron Classic Car Auction that's coming up May the 6th. And the featured seller on this particular sale, the seat of the sale, is Chevyland USA by Elm Creek, Nebraska. They've got nearly 60 classic cars, including a 1965 Corvette Stingray. It's only got 6,800 miles. They've got several Chevy Impalas, including an SS convertible. They've even got some history, unique history. They got a 1965 Chevy Impala that was used in a bank robbery back years ago, and they've got all the paperwork with the heist, including the paperwork of when they rented the car as the getaway vehicle. So that will be selling. There's about 40 motorcycles, Honda Gold Wings. They got some Windjammers. They got several different makes and models of the motorcycles. Plus, for the hobbyists out there, we've got a nice inventory of never been used discounted parts from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They've got original sales manuals in excellent condition from the same time period. They've got a lot of the 1920s Chevrolet vehicles as well. I think there's a 1917 Chevy. There's some 1922s, 1928s. It's just a unique assortment of cars, and you'll be seeing some marketing on social media sites appearing here and there. If you know of anybody that's a collector car enthusiast, you need to draw their attention to this sale. If you know somebody who's got an extra car that's been sitting in their garage or in their shed for quite a while, and they just don't take it out enough to enjoy it, and they want somebody else to enjoy it through these summer months and going to the car shows, please tell them to consider selling their car on this worldwide advertised collector car auction event. We're going to be in Hemmings Motor News. We're going to be in the big digital media sources all over the country marketing these cars, because they are some very rare ones. If you've got rare cars, folks, or you know somebody that does, please reach out to BigIron at 1-800-937-3558 so we can go to work for you and help you out getting your cars sold.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guests Pat Kroese and Mark Stock, and remind everyone that livestock is now for sale on BigIron.com, and you can quickly see what's for sale by clicking on the livestock banner at the top of the homepage. For the BigIron Buzz, I'm Ryan Smith. We'll catch you here next week.